Mark, we talked before the game just about kind of the start to this one and setting a tone. What did you think that New Orleans did to jump out on this lead? And I know it didn't feel that way, but it was a wire-to-wire win for them.
Yeah, I thought, key to our recipe in our last few games, dating back to the Houston game at home and then even the Golden State game, as much as that ended poorly, we got off to a good start. We've gotten off to good starts in 4 games in a row now, and it's given us, a good chance, especially on the road, which I think is important. And, credit them, they were more ready to play. I thought they threw the first punch. They were more physical, more alert in the first quarter, and it took us a long time, went down 20, I think. Took us a long time to get it going, and then from about 6 or 7 minutes in the second quarter on for the rest of the game, I thought we were pretty tight and really got ourselves back in the game with effort and threw a good counter punch, but obviously dug ourselves a tough hole there.
What did it say about the group to, as you're saying, kind of the end of that second quarter, and then in the third, you outscore them by 6. It was really a slowed down, bogged down style, and I guess, what kind of patience did it take from your team to be able to play that style of basketball just to get the game resettled?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought it turned in the second quarter with the group that went in there with Wiggins and those guys. I thought that set the tone, for the rest of the half. It got us into striking distance. And then in the third, I thought we did a nice job, obviously, with stops. They had 16 points in the third quarter. So a lot of good things, in stretches of the game. But to control a win at home, you need more of a 48-minute effort, and it just took us too long.
Is there a more impossible shot than the one that Ingram hit over Dort there at the top of the key? It seemed to be blanketed all over him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough shot maker. We've seen him do that before. I think one of the games last year or 2 years ago was one of these games where he did kind of the same thing down the stretch. I thought what was disappointing was he got loose early, and that's, at the end of the day, when you evaluate these games, you want to focus on controllables and the things that, we can control and how we start the game, how physical we are, how alert we are from the onset. We can control that. And, we allowed him to get into a pretty good rhythm there early and then, tip our hat to him late. We guarded him as well as we could. But certainly not all of his 34 points were as earned as they could have been.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic, what are your thoughts on just the physicality of the game? Both teams seem to be a little frustrated early on just with the overall physicality from both sides.
Yeah, it was grind, and at the end of the day, they're coming off of a really rough stretch, and now they've turned it, and they're down a couple guys, and I give them a lot of credit. They brought the fight to us to start the game, and that's what we're going to see. We've played good basketball, we've won some games recently, and teams are going to. They know they have to show up against us, and that's a good thing. But we're going to get heavier and heavier punches, and we need to understand the mentality of the opponent for that. Now, with that being said, like I said, the last 4 games, I think we've done that pretty well, and so I don't want to overreact to one. But at the same time, we got to learn the lesson.
And your thoughts on J-Dub's game? He seemed to get it going tonight.
Yeah, he gave us a good spark, and what I like about him, he had a really rough start defensively. I said rough. I almost said bad. I should have said bad. He had a bad start defensively. And I thought his defense energized him. Late in the first half, he had some big-time defensive plays. And just his defense physicality, he obviously had a good offensive night. But I think what makes him such a good player is the way that he defends night in and night out and how seriously he takes that end of the floor. He takes on tough matchups. He puts his body in plays. He's a competitor, and I thought that was on display tonight.
And just to follow up on that, a lot of rookies seem to kind of hit a wall at some point, or just with the physicality of the game, or just that's just typical for a rookie. He hadn't seemed to hit that at all. He just doesn't perform like a typical rookie. Have you seen that behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting more of a stride than a wall. At least from what we've seen. We got 26 games left, I think. So, still a lot of basketball to play, but he's been impressive, and he's got a consistent approach. He's a consistent competitor. And he just keeps getting better. He through all these experiences, he's learning. Things are slowing down for him. He's learning how to be more aggressive. He's imposing himself on the game, which I thought was something he could grow in early. Obviously, a lot of reason for optimism.
Joe, go ahead, Joe.
Mark, first, what did you think of the effort to get a final shot at that, forcing that turnover, and then just talk about the defensive plays they've made? I think that first play you drew up, worked in Sacramento. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys ran it there at the end of that game. And then what were you kind of looking for trying to get the ball to Isaiah Joe on those back-to-back plays?
Well, the first thing is I thought, even before those plays, to position ourselves, we went down 5 a couple different times to position ourselves there. Really good situational execution. We forced a timeout on the first inbound play. Executed what we needed to do coming out of there with the foul. Jalen took the quick 2. We got right into matchups. They were out of timeouts. Now there's a deflection out of bounds because of the timeout we forced earlier. They can't challenge the play. I don't know. That was obviously a really close call. So all those stack up to even give you a chance to squeeze a shot off. It was a little different from it was a counter to the Sacramento play. It was just trying to use Shai as a decoy and try to shake Isaiah free. Those are tough because that team fouls up 3 traditionally, so you want to try to get a catch and shoot. And the guys executed to get a shot off late. But I thought as much as we could have played better early, the situational handling of just positioning ourselves possession by possession when you're playing at a deficit, I thought was really impressive.
And then just wanted to ask about Josh Richardson because he's from Edmond and, first game as a Pelican. Santa Fe. Played 34 minutes tonight, made some big plays. What'd you see from him and kind of the challenge of incorporating yourself into a new team and playing that well?
Yeah, he's done that. He's done that before. We had him in for a draft workout back when he was a rookie, and he was a local guy. It was cool to see him come in here. Obviously, we root for guys that are from the area.
Yeah.
J-Dub, just what was a little bit different about tonight's start and the way that they came out and delivered a first punch compared to the last few games where you all had really been the sharper team from the very outset?
They just outplayed us to start the game. I think we start off a little slow. I feel like they even kind of started off a little slower too, especially like the first couple minutes. And it kind of just snowballed. We've been talking about it all year. We don't want to come out slow, and it kind of happened, but we battled back towards the end. We had a lot of opportunities to win the game. So
Seemed like your block on Murphy and then the steal out on Alvarado really energized you in your game. What did those moments mean for you inside the game?
Just kind of needed a spark. It's going to be somebody different every game. Like I said, I think our start kind of flowed up until that point where we were kind of lackadaisical a lot. So just trying to do whatever to kind of energize the team, just playing hard. That kind of snowballed into us kind of coming back. So
a lot of times these comebacks will come, you're down 20, you get it all the way down to 1 in the third quarter. A lot of times that'll happen later. What's the feeling like as you guys have made that big charge, but there's still so much time left in the game?
It's a good feeling. Usually down 20, a lot of teams kind of give up, and that's when you dig yourself a bigger hole. Unfortunately, we've been there a lot this year, but we've also learned how to kind of play through that, and that's something we're getting better at. Obviously, you don't want to continue to be down 20, but we just never stop playing, so that's good on our end. And I think it's good once you come back from round 20, you get it to round 3, and you still have a lot of time left. That kind of energizes us even more.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. I was asking Mark just about your play so far this season, just discussing like a lot of rookies hit a wall at some point during the year. He said that you're hitting more of a stride than a wall. What would you attribute that to?
Taking care of my body. I don't know, just kind of being confident. They put me in a lot of positions early in the year that I'm kind of seeing again now, so I'm just a lot more comfortable with it. So, credit to the coaches for kind of putting me in those positions early. And, I'm just kind of handling the ball. I'm kind of figuring out where I'm going to be every game. The game is starting to slow down as well, so just doing that, learning how to kind of get extra shots up after practice and knowing when to rest and kind of do that. So, just kind of resting my body, and everybody, they're kind of giving me the green light to just play.
And then your overall thoughts on the physicality of the wings for the Pelicans.
They screened really well. Obviously, BI shot some tough shots today. I thought we matched that, especially the second half. Like I said, the first half we didn't. And, that's kind of where you lose the game at. So, but they screened really well. They play hard. They play together. So, they played really well tonight.
Jalen, Mark has talked a lot about, them asking you to stay aggressive and get up even more volume, even if it means taking a step back in efficiency, even if that's not your natural play style. Are you getting more comfortable kind of, hunting for your own shots, getting to the rim and things like that?
That's usually a good thing to hear when the coach is telling you to shoot more. So, like I said, that's just kind of them trusting me to kind of use my opportunity. I think I'm a smart player, so like you said, I shoot usually when I'm open and try and take good shots. But like I said, I'm just getting more comfortable out there, so I'm able to kind of hunt for more shots that I work on, and kind of understanding where I'm gonna be in the games really helps.
Josh, you rallied back all the way from 20, cut the lead to just 1. What's the feeling, at that portion of the game, still with about 15 minutes to go, and having kind of made that big charge to that point?
Yeah, that first quarter we dug ourselves a pretty deep hole to get out of. We responded well in that second. I think that last 7 or 8 minutes of the second quarter, we responded well, got it back to, I think, single digits at the break. And then third quarter, so-so. And then the fourth, I think we really put the foot down. We gave ourselves every chance to win the game. Ingram hit some tough shots down the stretch to, keep them in front. But I think defensively we were solid all night. I don't think we were too far off what we wanted to do game plan-wise. But, as I said, we dug ourselves a 20-point hole and did a good job to get out of it. But, if we hadn't put ourselves in that position to start, I think this game could have been ours.
There was a stretch where you all actually didn't score for about 5 minutes. That's not happened this season at all. Just how did you all internally kind of work through that and get past that stretch of the game?
That was in the second quarter?
Yes.
Yeah, that was just a slow start from that unit at the start of the second. I was in that. We didn't do a good job of executing offensively. We had too many turnovers. They pushed us out our stuff. They were out in transition running. Offensively for them, they were getting whatever they wanted. So, both sides of the ball for that unit that was on the floor wasn't good enough. That's when they kind of made their run, got some momentum going. But when we made some changes, the unit that came in did a good job putting their foot down, kind of clawing away at that lead. But, internally, when you don't score for a little bit, you kind of just have to go back to the basics, go back to what works, find easy buckets, and that's kind of the way to get out of that slump. I don't think we that unit that was out there did that. We tried to run plays that maybe we weren't not too familiar with, but stuff that wasn't getting us easy looks. It was just a lot of ISOs, a lot of guys trying to go one-on-one, and it just not a good against a good defense like that. It's not going to get you back in games.
And I just want to ask you, you kind of hunted down Ingram there for the steal out in the open floor, saved it inbounds. Can you just tell me kind of about your mindset on that play and being able to energize the team like that?
Yeah, I turned it over, so I was trying to just make up for that. But he was kind of just dribbling in front of me slowly up the floor, so I just made a play at the ball and just tried to get some momentum back into the game. They called a timeout, so crowd was involved. Guys were energized, but just trying to find little ways when shots not falling or you're not involved offensively. Trying to find other ways to impact the game is important, and try to do it on the defensive end on that play.
Shai, Mark said that Ingram got a little loose early in this game, and that kind of helped produce a rhythm for him. What did you see from the way that he was able to kind of get some shots early that allowed him to hit some of the more impossible ones late?
I don't think our defense was terrible. I think he just made tough shots. He's a good basketball player. Hats off to him.
They got up 20, and you guys were able to charge all the way back, cut it to 1. What's the feeling there in that third quarter when you've been able to make that run to that point?
Yeah, it's a relief. You don't want to go down that big as usual, but we know games are long and anything can happen, and we're going to keep playing. And
then just, in the fourth quarter, it seemed like such a physical game, not a ton of whistles either direction. Just can you tell me what it's like out there in those moments as you guys are you're diving on the floor, you're trying to get a jump ball there and just scrapping for every possession?
Yeah, just try to make winning plays. Try to do whatever it takes. It's fun, it's basketball.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. There seemed to be a lot of frustration in the first quarter, just with kind of back and forth between the teams. Your thoughts on just the physicality early on in the game?
The game was physical. I thought there were some missed calls, but it happens every night. It's basketball. The refs make mistakes. We make mistakes. It's part of the game.
And then your thoughts on being named Player of the Week for the Western Conference?
It's cool. Obviously, it's not, it's not like I'm super excited or I'm super mad. It's just I played a good week of basketball. It's an honor. It's cool.
Anybody else? We'll go to Joe.
Yeah, Shai, just wanted to get your thoughts on having Jeremiah back in there tonight after he's missed so much time.
It was good to see him out there healthy. Obviously, he brings physicality for us. yeah, I'm happy for him. He's out there getting his feet underneath him. I'm excited for him.